Let me ask you something uncomfortable. When was the last time you actually felt wealthy? Not rich, not flashy, not, I just bought something expensive wealthy, but genuinely, quietly, securely wealthy. If you're watching this, the honest answer is probably never, or at least not recently. And here's the strange part. Some of you watching right now are actually on the path to real financial independence. You're moving in the right direction, but you don't feel it. Because wealth, real wealth, doesn't announce itself. It doesn't show up in your Instagram feed. It doesn't come with a notification. It builds slowly, in the background, while life continues to feel normal, even stressful. So today, we're going to look at 6 signs, real, measurable signs, that you're quietly becoming wealthy, even if your bank balance doesn't feel like it yet, even if everyone around you seems to be doing better on the surface. Let's get into it. Sign 1. You're buying time, not things. There's a 28-year-old named James who lives in Manchester. He's not driving a new car. He's not going on 5 holidays a year. But last year, he started paying a cleaner £80 a month. He switched to grocery delivery. He cancelled 3 subscriptions he barely used and replaced them with one tool that saves him 4 hours a week. On paper, James looks like he's spending more than his friends. But here's the difference. His friends are spending money on things. James is spending money on time. And time, once you understand it correctly, is the only currency that actually matters. Wealthy people don't hoard money. They convert money into leverage, into time, energy, and attention that they can redirect toward income-building activities. If you've started to think about your spending in terms of hours recovered rather than items purchased, that's not a small shift. That's a fundamental rewiring of how you relate to money. The average person spends to feel something. The quietly wealthy person spends to free up something. Sign 2. Your expenses are flat, but your income is growing. Here's a scenario you might recognize. You get a raise, a small one, maybe 4%, maybe 6%, and almost immediately, without even deciding to, your lifestyle expands to absorb it. A nicer apartment, eating out a bit more, a slightly newer phone. Economists have a name for this: lifestyle inflation, and it is the single most effective wealth killer that no one talks about. Now flip it. Imagine your income grows by 5% this year, but your fixed expenses, your rent, your subscriptions, your recurring costs stay exactly the same. That gap, that's wealth forming, quietly, invisibly. If you've gotten a pay increase in the last 12 months and your monthly outgoings haven't really changed, you are mathematically accumulating more than you were before. Most people can't tell you the difference between their income last year and their income this year without checking their phone. The people quietly building wealth, they track it, not obsessively, just clearly. If your income is growing and your lifestyle isn't expanding to match it, you are almost certainly moving in the right direction. Sign 3. You've stopped comparing. You're outside to other people's outside. This one sounds soft. It's not. There's a woman named Clara in Berlin. She's 31, works in logistics. 3 years ago, she was genuinely distressed that her colleagues were buying houses, and she wasn't. She'd spend weekends feeling behind, refreshing LinkedIn, watching what others were doing. Then something shifted. She started to understand something that most people never fully grasp. She was comparing her reality to other people's performance. Her colleague bought a house, but took out a loan that consumed 45% of his monthly income. Her university friend drives a BMW, but has £11,000 on a credit card. Her neighbor renovated their kitchen, financed at 19.9% APR. The wealthy don't win by spending more. They win by looking like they're spending less, while actually keeping more. The moment you genuinely stop caring what other people's lives look like and start caring exclusively about your own actual numbers, you have broken free of the single most expensive psychological trap that exists in modern society. Comparison culture has one job: to make you spend money you don't have, to impress people who don't care, to keep up with a version of success that was never real. If you've stopped playing that game, you're already ahead. Sign 4. You have at least one asset that works while you sleep. Let's be direct about something. Trading your time for money, a salary, a wage, an hourly rate, is the foundation of financial life. There is nothing wrong with it, but it has a hard ceiling. There are only so many hours in a day. Wealth, long-term, sustainable wealth, starts to build when you own something that generates value when you are not actively working. This doesn't require being a millionaire. It doesn't require a property portfolio or a hedge fund. It might be a pension that has employer contributions going in automatically every month. It might be an index fund you contribute £100 to on the first of every month. It might be a small online business that earns £200 in a good month with minimal active effort. In the United States, data consistently shows that the primary differentiator between middle-class earners who accumulate wealth and those who don't isn't income level, it's asset ownership. Specifically, the habit of directing even a small percentage of income into something that compounds. If you have even one asset, however modest, that is generating some form of return without requiring your direct labor to function in this moment, you are part of a much smaller group than you probably think. Most people earn. Some people earn and own. The latter group tends to get wealthier over time, almost automatically. Sign 5. Financial stress has changed its shape. Here's what I mean by this. There are two kinds of financial stress. The first kind is survival stress. Can I pay this bill? Will my card decline? How do I cover this month? This stress is acute. It's constant. It corrodes your ability to think clearly, make good decisions, and plan for the future. If you've lived in it, you know exactly what it feels like. The second kind is growth stress. Am I investing this correctly? Should I be contributing more? Is my emergency fund big enough? Am I leaving money on the table somewhere? Growth stress is uncomfortable too, but it's a fundamentally different problem. If the nature of your financial worry has shifted from "how do I survive this month" to "how do I optimize what I'm building," that is one of the clearest signals that your situation has structurally improved, even if it doesn't feel dramatically different day to day. A lot of people dismiss this sign because the anxiety feels the same. Stress is stress, but the subject of your financial anxiety is one of the most honest diagnostics you have. Worrying about your emergency fund means you have one to worry about. Worrying about your investment allocation means you have investments to allocate. That is not nothing. That is progress. Sign 6. You've built a system, not just a budget. Let me give you the most honest observation I can make about how people relate to money. Most people have budgets. Almost no one follows them for more than 3 weeks. Not because they're weak or undisciplined, but because a budget is manual. It requires constant decision-making. And decision-making is exhausting. We have a finite amount of it. By Thursday evening, after a full week, the discipline required to say no to a takeaway or track a spontaneous purchase has largely evaporated. Wealthy people, not celebrities, not lottery winners, but quietly, sustainably wealthy people, tend to have systems rather than plans. Their savings move automatically on payday. Their investments are scheduled. Their bills are on direct debit. The decisions have already been made. The behavior happens regardless of how they feel on any given Tuesday. If you've automated even part of your financial life, a standing order into savings, a monthly contribution to a pension, an automatic transfer to a separate account, you have done something that the majority of people never actually do. You've removed willpower from the equation. And that, more than almost anything else, is what allows wealth to accumulate quietly in the background of an ordinary life. Here's the honest summary. Wealth doesn't feel the way television tells you it should. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't feel like champagne, at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. For most people building it properly, it feels like patience, like a little bit of restraint repeated over a long period of time. The trap, the one most people fall into, is measuring financial progress by how things look, and things in 2025 are designed to look misleading. Everyone is performing a version of success that is, in many cases, entirely financed. If you recognize yourself in any of these 6 signs today, that's worth paying attention to. Not because you've made it, but because the direction matters more than the destination at this stage. Slow is fine. Consistent is powerful. Quiet is, often, exactly what real wealth looks like. If this gave you something to think about, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you want to go deeper on any of these, systems, investing basics, how to actually build assets on a normal salary, let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.